Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our Congress one more time. And for this afternoon, we will have 3 panel discussions in total, and we'll be focusing on DeFi, MetaFi, Web3, and NFTs. I believe it will be a very interesting afternoon with this topic around. And to start off with, I believe this is a very interesting topic to talk about. And the topic is Goodbye DeFi, Hello MetaFi. And we have Mr. Dimitri TRI옌N. Please welcome to the stage. He is the CTO of FLX Media Inc. to host it through this 30 minutes of this panel discussions. Please welcome. Yes. So you have the link. To the stage. You have the microphone.
Yeah, but there is another one.
Yes. Jason.
Okay. Let me try. Really Tran, country director of Vietnam Near Protocol and co-founder of GFS Venture. Okay. Okay. Go. Then Johnny McCamley, founder and CEO of CryptoClear. Johnny. So Kavi Saglani, senior vice president, marketing and communication, Matrix Sports. Welcome to the stage. And Jason Wu, CISO of V2B Labs. We have some free chair, if someone would join. Okay, so the topic is about Goodbye DeFi and Hello MetaFi. But first, let's start with short introduction of every panelist about what you're doing, what your project, but short intro, since we have only 30 minutes panel.
Okay, let me open first. So I'm here to represent for the B2B Labs. So in B2Bs, we are trying to build the infrastructure to leverage the NFT stuff, like the Launchpad or the local or no-code smart contract that can help the creator to create their own NFTs and NFT marketplace, everything. So we are here to build the thing like for the next 10 years. So that's the short introductions about our project.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, Kavi here from Matrixport. So for those of you who don't know, Matrixport, we are a full suite digital asset management platform / ecosystem whereby we enable yield generation, trading of various digital assets and custodial solutions for those digital assets for both institutional and retail investors.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Riley, co-founder of GFS Ventures. So GFS is a global capital ventures, and we celebrate for the mass adoption of blockchains by investing in the projects and also incubating for the Web3 startups as a blockchain hub. In our ventures, we also have the labs, which have a lot of developers in our lab to support for the project on the technology side, and we also support on the we also have the blockchain academy to training the traditional developer to let them learn more about the blockchain technology. So to have more and more developer to support for the mass adoption of the blockchain. And besides that, I'm also the country director of Near Protocol in Vietnam market to support for the ecosystem, building how the business development and building have more projects to build on the Near ecosystem. And as you know, that Near is also one of the top tier 1 blockchain layer 1 at the moment.
Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Johnny McCamley and I'm the CEO and founder of CryptoClear. One of the main things that we focus on is blockchain education, tokenization, and also we're doing some really exciting work in Vietnam at the moment in relation to the tokenization of art as NFTs. One of the most exciting ones we're working on at the moment is Cover the Future, which is a really exciting NFT. And another project we're working on is called Luck of the Irish. So there's 80 million people worldwide which claim Irish heritage, and we're actually working along with V2B Labs with Mr. Jason to promote Luck of the Irish. So it's very exciting stuff.
Thank you, Johnny. Yeah. My name is Dmitry Cherun. I'm a CTO of FLX Media, and we have like two brands, FLX and Eagle FC. If you are in MMA, you know, like Khabib Nurmagomedov, who beat like McGregor, and he started like on league. There is like in downtown Miami, like big octagon, and it's all about like MMA, like physical experience that's digital after that streamed, and then in the future it will be tokenization, NFT around, all of this stuff. Good. So, right now, I was in NFT in UC, and it was visible that it's kind of still people optimistic about investment on the NFT and MetaFi, but we know that it's beginning of the bear market right now, and all DeFi was born when it was like beginning of the bull market, and right now like we are kind of in intersections, what will be later, and whether DeFi will die or still exists, and whether MetaFi will replace DeFi, or there will be like both, like the same banks are not yet dead, but we have a lot of crypto. So, one answer.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Right now we're hitting a bit of a change in market conditions. However, you mentioned that could DeFi die? And I don't think
just
so.
a provocation.
No, not at all. We have yet to see the maturity of decentralized finance, application usage. I mean, this panel session alone, where we talk about goodbye DeFi, hello MetaFi. MetaFi would not be possible without the fundamentals of DeFi. And we are still yet to figure out what those data points, the metadata that needs to be incorporated, and what the metaverse actually looks like as a service. So I think it's a very interesting concept, but DeFi, irrespective of current market conditions, I think this is a great chance for decentralized projects to really look at investing in development, right? CZ from Binance had a very interesting thing to say just a couple of weeks ago, where he mentioned that this is a time where the projects that are building for the future will stay around. Those projects that are looking at short-term gains probably won't survive current market conditions. So I think DeFi is still very early doors, and we could see a lot more of this perpetuate forward in the next coming 3, 6, 9, 12 months.
Yeah, totally agree that. So as the panel discussed yesterday, we also talking about the bear markets, and we also told that in the bear markets we will see the real builder will build the future. So and talking about the DeFi, will DeFi die? Of course not, because to me, if DeFi dies, it means that the cryptocurrency market will die. Because when we talk about the finance, and when we talk about the cryptocurrency markets, everything related to the finance. And DeFi will have to leverage the capital when we have lending, borrowing, to leverage the capital to make the ecosystem, to make the finance increase better. But to me, do I believe in the DeFi at the moment? I say no, because the technologies have not increased enough to make sure that everything is okay, is safe. So that's the reason why if in the future, when the technology is more increased, more improved, we will have more project making about security to protect the assets of the people on DeFi, and also we have more like insurance project to protect the assets of the investor. So at that case, DeFi will be increased much better. And DeFi, to me, DeFi always survive, and DeFi is the backbone of the cryptocurrency market.
Yeah, thank you. Jason, you mentioned that you have also accelerated and so on. How many like projects in MetaFi do you want to like incubate during the year? Is it focused more on MetaFi right now in accelerated, let's say?
So, are you asking about all the projects that we already incubate?
Will be incubating because it will be bear market and it can be changed approach, like because we saw in the last cycle when it was bear market, there were like, you know, these like high projects, they died.
Yeah.
And venture incubators, they focus it more on the long-term like relationship with the project to have more sustainable projects incubated.
Yeah, that's the good question. From the perspective of of an incubators, we are more focusing on the project that they are aiming to build something for the long run, not for the quick money. Because as you can see that in the last 12 months, it should be the hype for the play to earn game. And we think that kind of play to earn game doesn't come with a sustainable economic and business model. But the interesting thing is that I think that metaverse and game could onboard more users than DeFi. Because I have been in the market from 2017, and it was quite difficult to onboard the new users, how to educate them to use the MetaMask wallet, to pay the gas fee, etc. But when we talk about the game, we talk about the NFT and metaverse. So it is a totally new world, and newbie can catch the idea right away, and they can jump into metaverse. So we see the two significant things from to separate from the cash grab projects and the long-term project. Well, right now we are more focused on the metaverse project that they are aiming to build kind of open world, not a kind of game. So it could be similar model like Decentraland or a Second Life, where people can jump in and people can have some tools to build their own applications, for example. And with that kind of game, that it also can let them to apply on the infrastructure or the protocols that we in the DeFi into the game and push everything further. That's the second one, and that's the first one. And the second one that we choose the project that we want to incubate is that based on the experience of the team. So we consider we prefer the teams that have more members from the DeFi domain that shift to the metaverse, because they know all the constraints and all the market sense, and I think that they can build a better project than the newbies. So during the bear market, it's quite tough to pick out some pioneers, but but I think it's a good time to build, and any project that can survive during the bear market, it will be skyrocket in the bull market.
Yeah, thank you. Time to build, it's good. Yeah. So, Johnny,
Yes.
I know that you have very exciting, cool projects that you cannot talk on public, but maybe you can also talk about sustainability and something that is real and big one.
Yes, we are working on a very exciting project here in Vietnam, and it is linking real-world assets to NFTs. And one of the main things that we're going to focus on is local Vietnamese artists. So there's a big worldwide audience which is seeking Vietnamese art, but it's very, very difficult to attain. So we're going to NFT the local artists' pieces and sell them as NFTs in the likes of OpenSea. And to me, that's just amazing for Vietnam, because one of the things that we done actually the last time we were in Vietnam just 1 month ago was go to Greenwich University and do a talk with the students, and we were just absolutely blown away by the questions that the students were asking us. It is probably the best questions that we ever got, and it just shows that Vietnam really will be a leading country for blockchain technology and NFTs. And I would also agree with the rest of the panel that DeFi is definitely not dead at all. Even though we are now in a bear market right now, we have been in many bear markets before, and digital assets have not only survived but thrived in the space. So I definitely think that DeFi is extremely early. I also agree with yourself that the metaverse could not exist, MetaFi could not exist, sorry, without DeFi itself. It is the backbone of digital assets, and I think it's just a very, very exciting time to get into the DeFi projects, and as you said as well, to actually build them out and make them stronger against hacks and vulnerabilities. I think it's a very exciting time in the blockchain space to get into it. And I also think that the metaverse, just like DeFi, is still extremely early. I think that the whole digital asset space is probably where the internet was in maybe 1998 or the year 2000. We're so early that 99% of people that you would stop in the street don't actually know what blockchain technology is. Everybody knows what an email is, what a text message is, and I do think it will be maybe 5 to 10 years before the person in the street you could stop and they'll tell you what blockchain technology is.
Yeah, but people are very attracted because of the bull market, and it's helped to drive like a lot of people into ecosystem, you know, because of the, I do not even like say it's trading, it's gambling. I would say because there are no fundamentals and all this like DeFi project were just like games without UI. But right now it's more about how to make this as infrastructure, even for the realized. There can be tokenized stock or tokenized like, let's say, gold. And from infrastructure point of view, it's easy because you're not dependent, let's say, on the bank or someone you can transfer this asset. But still, let's say, if you have like gold somewhere like in the Brinks and then you have like token, then the proof of the ownership is easy to transfer without any problem. So it's more about how to make infrastructure easy for the end users.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And like back to the GameFi, when people say GameFi, the game needs to come first and the file come later. But like the GameFi last time, the people just main focus on the files, and they just focus on the earning mechanism in the game. And when the user, when the player come to the game, just because they want to earn some money, so it's not stable for the game. And like to me, like when we talk about GameFi, I like to use the name game blockchain or game NFT better than GameFi, because like the game NFT and game blockchain attract the user, attract the gamer because of the gameplay. The game is more interesting for the player to play in the long run. Same as that, now we use the term MetaFi. Of course, the metaverse needs to be much more better than the files. And I like to use the word meta economy better than the MetaFi, because we have the whole economy in the metaverse. Not just only the finance, not just only the earning mechanism in the metaverse, but we can bring the whole ecosystem in the metaverse, similar like the digital twin between the physical life and also the metaverse life.
Yeah, I agree, and it's the same, like we have like games offline, and then we have like games online, and then we have some assets that are in real life, but you see there are a lot of like merchandise that is virtual now, and people are buying it. So it's kind of like a new market. Yeah. You know, you're buying like virtual glasses, virtual, you know, like, but it was already there in the gaming industry, let's say with whatever, like Counter-Strike, like skins, trading, it was already, but this is just like a new iteration of technology. Yeah. Not gambling.
Yes, not gambling. Like I just talked to one of the biggest game studio in Vietnam, VTC, and they also say that like they produce a lot of games, and then people they play on that, they also have buying a lot of like the skin, the hero, and something like this. Now we just move all of this to become the NFT to make sure that the gamer they can own the NFT and and everything. The assets also belong to the user, not just only belong to the producer, and can spend more for the game, and not just like. The people come to here, they buy the NFT to play in the game, then they forgot about like the finance earning in the game.
So the next question is more related to game part of the metaverses. You see, in the beginning, like there was premium download games, then there was like the whole revolution with like free to play, and it was like completely changed the whole ecosystem. It was like blue ocean. Like I was like VP for Wargaming, Call of Tank. It was like completely something new. And it's changed the whole ecosystem approach and expanded the user base, because people do not need to pay first, and then they download the game, play, and if they want to buy some like whatever, like gold tank or something like this, then they pay. It's like upsell. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So and the same what's happening right now. Let's say with whatever, like play to earn model. But it's play to earn just like a beginning. It's similar to beginning of DeFi, because there can be a combination of, let's say, free to play and pay to earn, and there will be more complex model into the gaming. And what do you see? Do you see any more like, let's say, fundamental gaming studio? Not, let's say, blockchain like indie folks who are building games, but rather, let's say, traditional gaming studio who are moving to...
Yeah, they are moving. They are studying and researching about the blockchain and NFT, and they want to move their game to NFT and blockchain to expand to the global ecosystem, not just because like when you produce the game, you just only can attract the gamer in the local. But when you can produce the blockchain game or NFT game, it's also easy to go global for this one. And but like for the play to earn, it's not new. It is like in the traditional game, it's also have the model of play to earn, but like they earn on the different way. Like they earn by the like some of the
but
thing
you
in the
cannot
game.
extract the asset in traditional games because it's central.
Pardon?
But you cannot extract the asset out of the game.
Yeah, cannot extract. So that's the reason why we put them on the blockchain, so they can transaction everything transaction on that one. And once again, when we talk about the gameplay, the game NFT, the main point is the game. The gameplay have to be attract to the user, and they come to the game because they want to play game. Not they come to the game because they want to earn something. Because like people, they really tired of making money every day, and they're looking for the game to relax. And now they come to the game again. They come to play game, and they have to try their best to earn money in the game. So there's no meaning for relaxing anymore.
Okay, thank you. So, question for you. So since you're in like trading a lot, what about difference, let's say, DeFi and new product with MetaFi from financial point of view, let's say?
Sorry, the difference.
How do you see how you can help like user with these like MetaFi projects? Because you're trading asset in DeFi, you can do like yield, all of this aggregation, and what about like MetaFi project?
It's very similar, right? The difference is there is still no ubiquitous way of approaching MetaFi. Like I mentioned earlier, right? There is still no unanimous term for the metaverse. There are so many different projects building their own metaverses. They now need to look at things like interoperability, interconnectivity. We talked about NFTs earlier and how we can utilize NFTs. But ultimately, even with NFTs, you've got different things that you need to look at. For example, what happens with fractional ownership of NFTs, right? And the regulatory play there. So when it comes to looking at it from a bit more of a financial lens, we have to look at MetaFi as the potential evolution of decentralized finance, right? Decentralized finance is never going to go away. Like my colleagues have mentioned, that it is very much the backbone of the digital asset space and the blockchain industry. It is the reason why our industry came about, for transparency, interoperability, taking ownership, user custodial services. So when it comes to the financial aspects of it, MetaFi is just going to perpetuate that further. It's how it's going to be used in a more ubiquitous and connected way. So you can send an NFT from one project to another, partial fractional ownership of that NFT, but what is the utilization of that NFT? Yeah. And that's where it's going to become quite interesting.
Oh, the other case, like there can be different like products. I saw like one project that they doing like bucket of NFT, and then they issue a token out of this like value, like ERC20 token, so that like people are not selling this, but rather they have like liquidity as a token based on the like combination of the NFT. I think it's a completely different game. Like
it is. It changes the mechanics. Like it completely revolutionizes how we think about things. Yep. Because a lot of these things, while they are very much based on, to a certain degree, they are very much based on solving for X, with X being an issue in the traditional space, right? Now we're utilizing, or now we're looking at digital technology to try and perpetuate the next level of innovation, to try and deliver something that is a need and a requirement to service for now. So I agree with what you mean. There's going to be sort of different fundamentals and different ways of looking at this. Projects that will be delivering various tokens, and tokenomics are also going to have to change as well in line with the delivery systems. But I think we're still, again, going back to the earlier point, I think we're still very early on, and we have to find out what that solving for X is, or what that X in the equation is.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the same was like, let's say in real estate, I think like the first STO in US, it was like Aspen Resort. But it was simple. People just like have like token that is like share in it, but then it's like 1 year lock. But people are not trading this, and it's simple model. It's probably just like, you know, like it's just like token that is like representation of, let's say, shares in the Aspen research. But in reality, like there can be different model. And then question for you, Johnny, what do you think about different model? How people can deal with, say, with physical, like spaces or restaurants? How it can be extended through the like MetaFi?
Yes, I think that's a great point, Dimitri. I think one of the biggest things that the NFT space is missing is linking physical objects, places to NFTs themselves. And I think that will really help the 99% of people that don't understand NFTs, that don't understand the digital asset space. It'll really click in their head, because when you explain to somebody what blockchain technology is, or what an NFT is, that it's a non-fungible token, they're all unique, it's very hard for them to grasp what it is. And just as an example, if you have, whether it's the deeds to a property, which will be NFT'd in the future, I believe, or whether it is a hotel room that you'll earn yield from in the future, I definitely think it's a very, very exciting space. Mostly connecting property to NFTs, I think, will be one of the first ones. I know there's a company, Proppy, that's based out of Germany, I believe, that's working on that at the moment, which is very, very exciting. But then the next iteration of that, of course, could be the likes of classic cars such as Ferraris, where, say for example, somebody wanted to buy a Ferrari, but they only have, let's say, $100. Well, they could buy, obviously the Ferrari will be tokenized into X amount of pieces, and they could own equity in that Ferrari, and then when it sells in 5 or 10 years, when it's 10 times its value, they'll get their capital back. I think that's a fantastic use for an NFT. And it's the same thing with investing in property developments, whether it's the examples you give like restaurants. I think one of the biggest things is that NFTs will be used for as well is franchisees. So it's very, very expensive to open the likes of a McDonald's or KFC or Subway, where if that could be tokenized, fractionalized and shared between whether it's profits or the individual investors, so say the 5 of us here getting involved in that project together, I think that will really blow the whole NFT space into the general public and help everybody understand exactly the power of NFTs and where they're eventually going to lead to.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like I know one of the projects in LA where I live, people are organizing as DAO, and they selling like NFT collection, and then the proceed of the like coffee, like cafe, will go to the users of the NFT as like revenue share model. So it's more democratization of investment. People like finding like new project, real one, with NFT. Okay, so I think we have like maybe like 5 minutes left. So the question, next one about investment. So in the last cycle, there was like, when it was bear market, a lot of like funds changed the strategy because when it's bull market, people try to, how to say, bet or gamble on the quick liquidity and exit quickly. But we said it's like time to build, so it's more about the long-term projects. So what do you think will be changed in the investment approach for the projects?
No, again, a very interesting question. I think there's going to be a whole bunch of things that we have to look at from an investment standpoint, right? Again, let's put this clearly, right? So typically when looking at the opportunity to invest in various projects and protocols, companies, projects have gone through various routes, right? So we saw the ICO boom in 2017, 2018. Now we're seeing a lot of people look at equity, right? And again, with the influx of MetaFi, how that will change from an applicational usage standpoint is still very much TBC. But people are looking at investing in long-term opportunities, right? And again, going back to, I think what my colleague mentioned earlier, looking at current market conditions, this is the right time to look at projects that are building for the future and solving for X, right? Because without that visionary sort of oversight on what they're trying to develop, it's going to be impossible to look at it in the same way that we have been in the last, or for the past 5 years or so.
And also on the investment approach, as you can see, like back to 2018 to like 2019, there are a lot of ICO, and people can see that when we invest, we just look at the really pretty white paper, and then we put the money in. But like now, when we invest on the token, like the project have to show that they already have some core, have the smart contract, something like this, to show that okay, they can do something. but they still sell the promise to the investor. And now I think like after the bear market, the more real builder will build the future, will build the company. And when we look at the project, people will kind of scared of the token, and now they're looking for the equity. But for the token, it's can easy to have the startup to raise the money on many different countries, and also it's for the policy and regulation is built simple than equity. So now in case of invest in the token, we need to take a look at the project which have the use cases, the token utility. What is the use cases of the token, and is the value or not of the token related to the project? As we can see that a lot of projects, when they have really beautiful business model, they have really beautiful product, but then the value of the project is like parallel with the token. So the token have no value at all from the project. So when we create, the important is to create the token economics to relate it to the ecosystem and relate it to the economics of the projects. So when we talk about the project, when we look at the investment opportunity, so if some project they have really clear the token use cases, and the token use cases related to the project, it's also the good project to invest it in.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to add one small thing. So from kind of in investment, from my point of view, so there are two most important things that we focus on right now when we evaluate a project. The first one is that the value creations. Does that project can generate the real value or not, or they just issue the token and to get the fund? And that's all. And the second thing is that how much that project can capture the value. So I believe that the bear market is the interesting time to build, because with the strong projects with the intrinsic value, they still can survive even with or without a token, because they still can create a real demand for the users. And first of all, like Uniswap, first of all, people still want to buy and sell the token, so it has the real value. Even right now, I still don't know what is exact the unique token that can bring the profit to the holders, but it's a different topic. So yeah, we would like to see that the other project how they can survive during the bear markets, and I think that's the big test for the strong projects during this moment.
Okay, thank you. I think we are done and out of time. So thank you everyone. It was a really nice panel. Thank you for your input. I hope like audience enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all the insight, all the investment views that the four panelists just shared with us previously. Just a heads up, before we jump into the second panel discussions, we do have our Global Blockchain Congress Award ceremony at 4, followed by the closing remarks. So please make sure to be around with us till the end. Right, so to continue with the second panel discussions, I would like to invite Mr. Kirubakhandran Reddy, the founders of Alpha BLOCKCHEIN Ventures. Please welcome to the stage. Welcome. And we will have the panel discussion regarding to Web3 platforms. The topic is how a sustainable platform can be built on Web3. Please.
Hi, hi all. So glad to be moderating the panel. So for how to build a sustainable Web3 platform. So I have with inviting the co-panelists, Chris D. TRIයෙන්, Chief Strategy of Hubai Global. Yeah. Masami Murati, founder CEO of Zig NVM Group. William, CEO of SAS Mining. Yeah.
How's it going?
So I just want you guys to give a smart introduction about yourself, so then we can go forward with the panel. Yeah. Starting with you. Just a short introduction about yourself and what you do, your experience in Web3.
Yeah, I'm William Samasegi, CEO and founder at SAS Mining. I'm not as directly involved in Web3 as maybe both of you guys are, but through hosting the podcast, I've had the opportunity to speak with a lot of the biggest leaders in Web 3.0. Some more popular than others right now. One of the recent guests was the CEO of Celsius. And a lot of those insights I think are very, very relevant and pertinent to this panel discussion here. So I'm excited to dive into it with you guys.
Hi everybody, so my name is Massimo Moretti, so I'm the CEO and founder of Sigidom Group, which is the first Web3 powerhouse, accelerator and venture studio. And we also have a fund based in the US, $10 million fund. And I'm really happy to share this panel discussion here with brilliant people and also former colleague from Wabi. I was working at Wabi as managing director for France and supporting all European countries. Please.
It's good to be here. So I think among the four, I'm one of the representative from the, the host of Vietnam. So I'm from Vietnam. So it's really good to sit together with a long friend, Kiru, all the way from India. This is actually the first time that we step out of Web3 and meet each other face to face at Web2. So currently I'm representing a few different entities that quite interested in the Web3 domain. As you know, Hubai Global is very keen on incubating as well as investing in any Web3 or metaverse interesting project. So if you feel like you have a good project, please come see me after the panel. That's number one. Also in Vietnam, one of my incubated project called Meta, not the Facebook Meta. We are currently working on a data analytics tool for Web3. Basically, we try to address the problem of data when people moving from Web 2 to Web 3, because at every single level at Web 2 or Web 3, I think at the end of the day, your business will require data to make better decision, how to understand your customer, how to strategize your, promotion and, NFT, everything more effectively. So with all of that, maybe we jumped into our panel discussion. Yeah.
So I think today we are discussing more about how to build a sustainable Web3 platform. So I feel like, maybe I think Chris was mentioning about there are a lot of companies moving from Web 2 to Web 3. So the data plays a vital role in Web 3 as well. So there are a lot of data-based companies coming up in Web 3. So I just wanted to break it down, maybe the conversation into 4 or 5 different area. So where there can be a sustainable Web3 platforms, or what are the requirements of building sustainable Web3 platforms with respect to infrastructure. So what are the infrastructure requirements for building a sustainable Web3 platform? So then the funding, I think we have people in the panel, Masmi is actually having an experience into running fund and being involved as a VC as well, right? So you can understand from the funding angle how it's good to help the Web3 platforms in building sustainable platforms from a funding side of it. Then infrastructure, then the another primary thing in Web3 is actually community, right? So you have a community as one very, very important element. So in Web2, people talk about like MVP, minimum viable product. But in case of Web3, we have to talk about MVC also. Like there is something called minimum viable community. So you need to try to achieve minimum viable community which are interested in the platform which you are building, the Web3 platform you are building. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts about like, what are these different areas. So what is required to build a sustainable Web3 platform? Maybe starting with Sami.
It's a very good question. So right now it's true that most of the VC we're looking for like infrastructure to build like the next generation of like product services and make it like very smooth in terms of user experience. I think one of the most important pain points right now it's the user experience. I mean it's not. I mean all of you maybe here in this space it's like it seems easy for us to use like MetaMask or any kind of wallet, but think about my mother and my grandmother. I don't think so. It's like easy for them to install just a MetaMask wallet. So I think one of the next big things, the next big challenge for building a sustainable Web3 platform is the accessibility, the security, and making something which is like desirable, easy to use. So saying that, I think this is the first key points that can make Web3 sustainable platform exciting for and make it massive. Because right now, all of you guys here in this place, I think we're still early adopter. There is like less than 100 million crypto owner, crypto and wallet user in the planet Earth. We're close to 8 billion, so it's still very early. So yeah, this is my answer for how we can start building Web3 sustainable platform.
Okay, so you mean like as an infrastructure play, there should be a lot of infrastructure projects which is making the onboarding process much easier for Web3. So that is like one particular...
yeah, absolutely, but there is also like a lot of education. So we're talking a lot about infrastructure, but we also need to think about like education. Education is key. Like, I mean, we can say like building just like an infrastructure for everybody. Of course, if it's like simple to use, yes, we can do it, but there is still a lot of education to make it accessible for everybody.
So I think when you talk about education, so I think William can add some point to it, I think, because even SaaS mining as a business for the Web2 people or a general people, when you talk about it, so they will understand about what is mining. So there is a play about educating them first. About like, this is about mining and what is the investment opportunities we are getting other than what is the traditional investment. So that can be a stepping stone. So similarly, I think education, any points you would like to add, like, how to like, provide an education?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of people don't really know this or don't look into the details of it, but when you look at Web 2.0, what were the most successful companies, right? You had a lot of winners, and a lot of them, you look at the Facebooks and the others, what did they all have in common? Stickiness. Exactly, and why do they have stickiness? Well, they won because they got the users. And when you look at the winners of Web 2.0, they were the winners because, it goes back to what you were saying, communities, users, that's how you win. But now with blockchain, you have a new variable in there. And when you look at the most successful Web 3.0 companies, what do they have in common? They have the community, yes, but they have something else. What do they have? They have total locked value within their network. It's very difficult to bootstrap a winning network. That's something that is a shot in the dark. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. And right now, like you mentioned, we're very early. Not many needles have been found in that haystack. Some would argue that none have really been found truly to compete with Web 2.0, but will they be found? I believe that you will find those needles in the haystack and you will have those winners that build the community and have a lot of value locked up in them. So I guess I'll pause on that.
Sure. Kiru, can I add something on that?
Yes,
so I think both of like our friends here mentioned, for me it's all about the approach. For Web 2 going to Web 3, I think everything that you mentioned from infrastructure, community, so on and so on, it's all about approach. And for me, right, there's no single way to get into Web3. You have to base your approach based on your strengths and weaknesses. For example, if you are a Web2 business that doing really well on the, let's say, lifestyle or fitness business, and you gonna try to make people go into Web3 through, let's say, move to earn or exercise to earn or whatever, right? That's the best way to do it, because you don't cross to other vertical that you're not very strong at, because that's where your community are. So the community, the infrastructure, the credential from Web 2 is basically what gonna bring you success in Web 3. And the thing is, not other player can replicate what you can do over here. So you have to stick into your core or your capability on how you can move into Web 3. And I think that's very important. That's point number one. You have to start where you are very strong at. That's number one. And number two, just to share a little bit my agreement on the value of community. I think the moment that crypto blossom, right? I think it is the first time that I can see a certain industry that really got driven by the value of a community. And basically you really can monetize or evaluate a community into dollars, right? The bigger, the better, the more active, the better. If you have an active community, actually you can do everything with them. If you don't have a community, I don't care how good product you have, you're done. So focus on those points and focus on the value of the community that you're building around. I think that's where you should start building a successful Web3 case.
Great. So the community plays a very vital role for building a successful Web3 platform. So then with respect to education, as I was saying, like all these infrastructure plays or all these Web3 companies needs to also build a community along with educating them, right? So that is also very important in building successful Web3 platform. So what else, any tips or tools you can give it to founders who is building on Web3 of you can use on how do you leverage a community or how do you build a community, or any sort of a tips and tools or tricks you guys want to give it to founders who who is building on Web3. So whether it is moving from, I think Chris was mentioning a one valid point of having something built from Web2 to Web3, because there is a base credential already available for a Web2 company. And then on top of it, if you're building something, and you have to also build your unique value proposition or unique selling point to the people, saying that this is different from all others available. So that is also make it successful for the Web3 community, right? So if there is any such, like with respect to funding, so if you wanted to build a sustainable Web3 platform, so what do you suggest with respect to fundraising or with respect to infrastructure plays, anything? So what are the tips and tricks you guys can share with the founders or the builders? If there is anything you can give your tips.
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy. Yeah, it seems really complicated, but I mean, as my mentor was saying, so as a child we would like to receive, but what are we able to give? And I think this is the secret of building a real strong community. Web 2, Web 3, we don't care. It's starting by giving. Could be education, could be content, could be rewards, and I think this is we're talking a lot with Web 2 company, but they miss one thing. That's the reason why we're here. Not just because of blockchain and the cryptography, etc. No. It's because so the product is free because we're the product, right? But now, what is the big difference? It's it's time to give. It's time to give back to this community. We're spending time. What is the most important things we have in this planet Earth? All of us in this place. It's time. And when we're spending time on Netflix, on Facebook, we're not spending time with our family or with our friend or with I don't know what, or whom. So it's start to give back to the community. We're spending time on the platform, some reward. We don't care about which kind of reward, but it's time to reward them because they're selecting you. I mean, you are selecting them as the best platform to use. So I think this is one of the the best advice I can share with the community.
Great. Do you have any points to add?
I would say on the topic, and this is going a little bit more broad, but when you look at blockchain technology and how to apply it, that's really at the core of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
In this case, you brought up some great points. How are you going to apply blockchain to give back to your community and change and create new business models? And the analogy that I think would be important for everyone, for you to look at is, think about how we've made that jump in the past. When you saw the companies that succeeded in Web 2.0, what did they do? They had a new type of technology available to them that allowed them to build a business that couldn't be built before. What's a concrete example? Let's say Amazon, right? Before the internet, before the World Wide Web, you couldn't build a company like Amazon. You didn't have the ability to connect to these other networks. What you all see here with Web 3.0 is you have the exact same type of mechanism at your disposal, but it goes one layer deeper. Now it's not just connecting with other people, being able to build companies like Amazon to ship you products. It actually allows you to go and incorporate your users, build communities, find new ways to unlock value. And I think that that's something that's very powerful, that if you're a Web3 founder or an investor, to recognize is, if you're making an investment in a product, is it actually gaining value from utilizing blockchain technology? Or is it just utilizing blockchain technology so it can trick someone into funding the project? There's a very big distinction, and that goes down to the amount of value that you're creating. And there are a lot of nuances to that, but you got to take it on a case-by-case basis.
So yeah, I think value creation, so I think that's a wonderful point you have brought out, is a value creation. So from World Wide Web, there is a value creation created for users like an Amazon, for buying a product online, or watch a content through Netflix or other stuff. But what will be the next level of value creation Web3 founders to look at? Take an example like they can actually create an e-commerce on Metaverse. So they need to actually create a value which the users are willing to use for. I think Facebook has created a value of connecting people through a platform. Similar way, I think one important point could be like the value creation of trying to use the blockchain tech to create a value for the users. And if that is being done right, I think people can build a successful Web3 platform. So like an Amazon of next Amazon or next Facebook will be built on Metaverse. Or like, it can be like, it can be a different way of like, bringing value to the users. Maybe right now people are already got bored with using Facebook. They're not anymore interested in Facebook. So this is the right time for the Web3 to build something where next billion users can come on board, right?
Kiru, I think one of the almost the same stuff, but if we look at that statement from the product angle, right? This is how I see it. So when people go into Web3, either you have to select yourself to be sort of an infrastructure, or you are a Web3 that's solving a specific problem, because that's two directions are completely like left and right. Because the moment that you choose, if you solve a specific issues, you will go that direction. And if you try to become an infrastructure that help other Web3 solution to connect into your platform and make it easier for them, like you mentioned about the infrastructure, right? You have to identify that as early as possible, because I don't think you can do that both at the same time and very good at it. I don't think so. Because the moment that you try to solve a certain issues and then the rest of the equation, you only have to look for that infrastructure that help you to connect into the bigger community. So both of you can share synergy, right? I have this community because I'm trying to solve issue A, but the moment that I connect into a bigger infrastructure, right away you connect into a bigger crowd. And then absolutely over here, I think some of them will try to cross over here. And I think that's lesson you have seen more than often in Web 2 already. A lot of the big ecosystem like Amazon, Google, all they do is they gather more and more user back into the ecosystem, right? Because, I mean, but the thing is, not everyone can be Google and AWS in the first day. So you have to select a very specific problem to solve right away, or you choose to be like Google as early as possible. I think that's just how I observe it from the product angle.
Great, great. So you have any points to add, Usmi? Okay, good. So I think from the discussion, so I understand that like we have started with something like an infrastructure and community and funding, but I think we ended up getting few more points, few more very important points of if you wanted to build a successful Web3 platform business, then first of all you need to have a focused area. As Chris was mentioning about like try to focus on one aspect and try to build something out of it. So it's normally there is a saying like you can say inch wide and mile deep, right? So that means you need to select a problem which you can go actually an inch wide problem, but you can go mile deep into it to build a solution for it. So if you are able to bring that focus, I think you will be able to get you can actually build a next successful Web3 platform. So then I think the value creation focus, and the next would be a value creation. So you have to truly try to build a value for the users. If you're able to truly build a value for the users, I think that's going to be a next successful Web3 platform, right? So then community. So again, like community. So you need to find users who wants to use your product, right? So obviously that factors like this, like community, value creation, focus. So then the rest of the things will come on board, like the infrastructure or the funding will obviously come on board when the users are already available, right? So I think this is the key takeaways from the panel, I feel. So like thanks a lot guys for joining the panel. So it was very wonderful insights from all of you guys. So hope you guys had wonderful insights from us. So if you have any questions for the panel, you guys can, if there is any questions, you can ask. If you have any questions, guys. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for having me on, last minute.
Right, thank you for the interesting panel discussions regarding to Web3 platform. We will be, for the next 30 minutes, we'll be having Mrs. TRI옌N Leona, head of partnership from Moonlight Labs. Yes, please welcome to the stage. She will be moderators the next panel discussions regarding to NFTs with the topic of what the futures of NFT will be look like. Please welcome to the stage.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. How you all doing? So my name is Leona. I'm Moonlight Lab Head of Partnership, and I will be moderating the panel, What the Future of NFT Look Like. So tell me, is there anyone here who don't know what an NFC is? Okay, so I guess that we all know what an NFC is, right? So I can skip my one-page introduction of NFT. So anyone here know what NFT stand for? What is the abbreviation of NFT? Can you raise your hand? Yes, please. Yes, non-fungible token. Yep, and I have a question for you guys, for all of you here. So we all know NFT is non-fungible token, and it is quite rather a technical term. So it's kind of unfriendly for non-tech people, right? So I have a question for all of you here in the hall rooms. Were you able to rename NFT? So what would it be? Okay, so in the next 30 minutes, please think about it, like how to rename NFT. And I hope to get your answer after the panel, and which ever got the best answers will get a coffee or tea, the best coffee and tea treat from me. Okay. So now let's welcome our panelists, Mr. Thomas Lang, the CEO of Lockable. Okay, welcome. Hi, nice to meet you. Have a seat. And let's welcome Mr. Schofield, the founder and CEO of BSC Station. Mr. Eric Chu, the CIO of Capella Venture. Yeah, a big applause for him, please. And last but not least, Ms. Tienny Huỳnh, the president from She Blockchain. A big applause for her. Okay, thank you all for coming here, and so let's have a round of introduction. First, shall we? I would like to invite lady first, Miss Tienny, for your self-introduction.
Okay, thank you, Leona. Hello, everyone. It's very nice to be here today. It's my honor to be one of the panelists of this panel discussion. My name is Tienny Huỳnh. I'm the co-founder and president of She Blockchain. She Blockchain is a female-centric organization, and we utilize holistic education for training and preparing a stronger female workforce for blockchain industry. So it's very nice to be here today, and I would love to connect with all of you to learn more from you about your project, about your VCs, your community, and hopefully we can collab somehow. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Tienny. How about you? Let's have you introduce.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Eric Chu from Capella Venture. We are the local venture based in Southeast Asia. And for the beginning of the journey in the crypto, we have got many luck with GameFi and DeFi. But at the end, heavy hurts with some crashing and facing up with many problems like Nula, right? The same problem, right? And right now we here to looking for the future of the NFT. Yeah, nice to meet you guys again.
And how about you, Scorpio? Go ahead.
Hi everyone, it will be great to be here today. My name is Schofield, the founder of BC Station. Actually, we are one of the leading incubator hub for blockchain startup. We support the project from fundraising, for marketing, market making, and security audit. Last year, we already supported for around 60 projects. Most of them from GameFi, NFT, Metaverse, and also DeFi infrastructure. And I would love to be here today for the guest for panelists, and I hope that I can give more information for audience here. Thank you so much.
And about Mr. Thomas Lang.
Hi everyone. It's Thomas. I'm a co-founder and CEO of blockchain firm. We are working on applied blockchain technology for entertainment industry, and we are focusing on data mining, data analysis, API as service, and at the end we are building blockchain services for entertainment industry. And it's great to be here and to talk about the topic. What is the future of NFT will look like, and how to use AI and machine learning for NFT in the future.
Thank you, guys. Now, so let's come to the first question. So I would like to ask Mr. Schofield first. So what are your views of NFT? Like, would you like to share with us your thought about NFTs?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. I think that NFT will have really big future because we can see the NFT from the GameFi, the big explosion for GameFi in 2021. You know, a lot of project was born in last year, so it got more user and also investor to support the GameFi. And in 2022, the trending already changed, like multi-earn trading. A lot of people already transfer from the GameFi to new trending, like moving to earn. So I think that how can we recognize the NFT value? That is the really big question. If we can answer this question, I think that you can get more information because now NFT can be stand for reality assets like real estate, like housing, like a lot of things in the real life, especially for NFT for land. So for me, NFT will have really big future if we can, immerse NFT into the traditional business also for cryptocurrency business. So that will be NFT will be more value and can benefit for the user. So I think so.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And what about Mr. Eric? So what does the futures of NFT look like for you? So what are the opportunities, the possible opportunities of NFT?
Yeah, I think NFT right now in the eye of almost the investor is like a simple picture. But I think that have many opportunity for the new investor want to join to invest in crypto world because I know token going down. And in bear markets don't have more chance to invest on the exchange. So NFT market is a new thing that they can learn and they can starting with. So I think so.
Yeah, thank you. And Ms. Jenny, so where do you see NFT in the next 5 years?
Okay, so well, I'm not a foreteller, right? So I'm not sure what can happen in the next 5 years, but I hope. And I can see that people are trying to do it, that NFT will be integrated into many business. And also it comes with real value, real world value, not just the bubble prices and stuff. So hopefully we're gonna make it easier to access, for new people to access NFT, to understand what is this and what is this for. Right, and more people gonna know about blockchain in general, about NFT and the real value of NFTs. That's what I hope for.
Actually, I totally agree with the three speakers. Actually, how to integrations of the NFT to life is it not that we can do in a few months. We need a progress a few years, but I believe integration NFT to life. It will be the future because NFT is one of the most beautiful of the 21 centuries, I believe. So now you have phone, you have applications, and for example, we have some assets and we can transfer to the next generations, and NFT can make it happen. And that's the reason why we talk about the future of NFT, right? People, they think it's an asset, but to me as an engineer, it's more than an asset, it's a beautiful technology, yeah.
So, how would you compare NFT now to internet in 1997?
So let me talk a little bit about the difference. The internet, that time the people they don't really know what the internet is, but now it's like crazy. People have to try. Like that time, people they apply the AI to a game, like a chess game, to test it. And when they prove up work, then they scale it to the PC. And now laptops, after laptop, they make it happen with the mobile phones. And now asset like Apple Watch and something wearable. Blockchain as same. Now people, they are trying to make things proof of work, like how to make NFT, how to apply the AI for NFT. For example, asset management, something like that. When it works, it's like proof of work, then the people, they're gonna scale it. And I believe it is something like it's proof of you have your own asset, and people, they um, like you can manage. It's easier because now the money you send to the bank, but you don't really know what they use it. They're gonna let the other people rent your asset or not. You don't know. But when you have an NFT,
You know where it
yeah,
coming
you
from.
know where it's going and something like that. Everything is transparent,
Yep.
and it's a smell of freedom, and people love it. People like freedom, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Another question for Thomas, that is what is the impact of AI on NFT artists and collectors? How would it assist or hinder them?
Oh, it exists. Actually, so you see, so we talk about choosing fungible token and non-fungible token. So now the data is everywhere. So for an example, for a fungible token, the transaction happen like a million transactions per day, and we don't really know who ride the markets. Yes, it's happened, and it is the same with the NFT. We on OpenSea we have like thousands of collections, and we don't really know where either the other pieces from the collections. I mean, they use the AI for asset management. For an example, for the NFT generations. I mean, now lots of people they use it. For an example, OpenSea. We monitor them, and they have some algorithm to make kind of automatic market maker. So some transaction happen, and it encourage the people to trade. Or for an example, for a team of us generate art from AI algorithms. So you give a picture of 10,000 people, the machine learning can learn it and generate 10,000 other people, and you don't have to use your own real face. You can use a represent face on the internet, because now people, they want kind of animals, right? So I mean, lots of labs, they work and they try to integrate AI into NFT and make it happen. Yeah.
Actually, there was a project that has just called $16 million that they used AI technology to generate NFT, like you say.
A project human.ai, right?
Yeah.
Actually, we talk with them and we work with them for some time, and we have in touch, and we know that team is a strong team, and they based in West Europe, I believe. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
you can see that investor they invested 10 million. This means that we can see the huge future of application AI and technology into asset, and NFT at kind of an asset.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And for Mr. Scofield, so how you think is AI related to NFT? So like what happened when AI and NFT meet, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that AI is typical if the technology when we can apply the AI into the NFT. The big question is how can we recognize the real owner of the NFT? Because for example, if you have some image or the video, and anyone can mint or even they created the NFT on the NFT platform. So how can we know that who is the real owner? So I think in that way we have to use some better technology to recognize the real owner for the NFT, and also the AI is really great technology that we can boost for the NFT platform, and also boost for the NFT technology becomes better than a few years ago. And for BC Station, we also support some project for NFT platform that like build platform for all user. The user can mean anything they want. For example, they can mean the real NFT, they can mean the image, or even they can use the video to create it, the NFT, and they combine all things together from hardware and also software together. And I think AI is really great technology that can support for the NFT to have a bright future. Yeah.
Thank you. So NFT platform projects, you know who to meet.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on some of the community-related questions. So we already know like building a community is like building a foundation for every project. So what do you think are now the issues of the NFT communities, the community, but NFT in particular? May I ask Ms. Tierney for this question?
Thanks for your question. I would say the problems, the issues that we have in right now as a community are uncertainty and accessibility. Like, let's talk about accessibility first. I talk from the beginning that it's so hard for new people to understand what is blockchain, what is NFT, what are the use cases, how to have a MetaMask wallet, and how to remember all the address and everything, right? So, for example, imagine that someone come to you and say, "Hey, can you explain for me how Visa works?" Will you be able to explain all the technical terms and everything behind the Visa, or you just simply say, "Oh, it's just a card that you go to supermarket, you buy things, if you don't have cash, you use a card, and at the end of the month, you pay it back to the bank," right? It's so easy, and anyone can understand that. But the problem is in our industry, like we use so many technical terms, and we make it so difficult for people, for women, for old people, for young children to understand it and explore it and use it. So I think that's the first problem that I think we are trying to fix it now with many events, many like this, and talk about blockchain and try to get more people into this space. And I'm sure that out there are so many smart people with brilliant minds. Just let them access this blockchain industry. They're going to give you a lot of ideas, a lot of contribution, just if you let them.
That's the reason why she blockchain is here, right? And make it easier and accessible for lady, for children, and
yes, we're trying to do that. We're trying to work with university, with academies, to have workshops and seminars to just talk with the students and and just give them the basic knowledge about blockchain and just tell them about the opportunities in this space, like. Joining, there's a lot of things for you to explore, to learn here, and it's not that hard. We can help you, but of course we need developers who try to make application and everything easier.
It's the reason why we are here, like Scarfield, a startup hub, and we are here to develop tech.
That's why we need you. Yeah, and the second one is uncertainty. Like, they don't know what are the real values of the NFT that they get. For now, it's just based on the price of the tokens and the price of the NFT. But when it comes to real value, it's not clear yet. It's unclear the real value.
Actually, it's the prime reason why we focusing on the asset management. Let the people they manage the assets easier. The one. Like they remember where access and the value and how to sell them. I mean, everything should be easy and accessible to crypto user and non-crypto user. And even non-crypto user, when they access it, they will understand immediately and they can manage it very easy.
Yeah. So I think if we do it right, NFT would be a great, powerful vehicle for people to manage their assessment.
Okay, thank you.
For example, you buy a Gucci bag, right? And then they give you an NFT as a memories, like
No, maybe it's maybe when you buy a Gucci bag, then instead of a paper bill, they will give you an NFT bill, so you can store it on blockchain and you can keep it on their data. They know that you bought it at this time, this date, and then if you need to. Some kind
actually
of
more than
fixing,
that.
Then something.
Actually, more than that, it's kind of your status. Your friend know your wallet. When you have new items, then they know, wow, that guy, they buy a new Gucci. I should buy a new one. Something like that. Like, is it your
FOMO,
status?
Right?
It depends. Rich people don't have to FOMO because they like it. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask Mr. Eric. So what is your as being a venture? So what is your taste of investment? It would be we have GameFi and play to earn, move to earn, and etc. So what is your new move? Would it be related to NFT or something like AI embedded NFT or interactive in NFT or platform or infrastructures and so on? So what is your view now?
I think that right now the challenging thing we face of that how we can convince the rich people have many million in pocket right now, building the portfolio with the NFT, because they are putting the eye on the real thing, and the ad work old markets, they are holding a lot, but in the new market of NFT, we are trying to convince them that they have many potential, and right now they should start staying with something with these markets. And it's a very challenging thing that how can we training them, But I think need a new player in the market right now, because the old people, the old collector in the markets, old markets, putting the eye too much in the real thing, in the real AdWords. And right now, we will try to like building the community, training the community about the NFT, about the potential thing. Have a lot of collections, the new collection, very potential thing, and in the volume trading increase very much day by day. So right now, the good meal we are looking for that we can have the chance to make a new like NFT gallery, but in the local market, and it's maybe the center of the other thing relating to NFT. We do provide the training, we provide many kind of events to have the people get more like information about knowledge about the NFT markets. That's what we want to do right now.
So the first barrier, I think, is by its name, right? NFT, right? NFT, non-fungible token. Like it's hard to. It is hard to explain to people. Okay, so let's get back to my first question for all of us, for all the audience as well. So would you be able to rename NFT? Then what would you rename? How would you rename it? Like for another word for NFT? Have you got the idea?
To be honest, I think non-fungible token is the perfect name for it, because it's a non and fungible.
Yeah, I know. It explains itself. But
it explains itself. And I say actually we do have a little bit. I think it would be great if a non NFT can be backed by kind of assets like gold or something like that, and they bring the real values. And for example, Scarfield, he said for real estate or something like that, the value of NFT is backed by a real asset, and then the value you see, But non-fungible token, I believe it's a perfect name, and to my point of view, we don't have
to. You don't need to rename it, right?
Because when we mention about NFT, everyone will know what is NFT is. I think so, because we already have the fungible token, so we should have the non-fungible token. That something like the different worlds, but it combined together. And to build also support for not only for blockchain, but also for cryptocurrency, because we use cryptocurrency to power entire ecosystem for blockchain, and also for all startup and also project. So that I think the NFT and also non-NFT will be the really great and also big power to boost the entire ecosystem for the new world, especially when the technology will be changing. That would be great for any project to approach to the NFT world.
And how about Mr. Eric?
So with me, it sound like money sound better, because but at the time being, NFT will be very like luxury name, and people when they earn when they can earn, when they can get benefit with NFT. So the name will be sound like money sound, and it's good for other people. Yeah.
Because NFT itself, it explains itself. It's a perfect name, I know, but it's pretty.
To be honest, it's a, like a confusing name, like Tin.
Like if
Tin,
you
he said. So that's the reason why he says it makes the blockchain to to acquire new people, to introduce new term, and in case it's needed to translate to a local language.
Finding
for example, mobile phone.
Just finding a new synonym for it, like not a new synonym, but find equal terms that also means it. Like we are trying to do that. My question was just like, will we be able to rename it? Like not because that the name is not okay. It's perfectly okay with calling NFT non-fungible token. It explains itself perfectly. Yeah, but if how can we make it simpler for entrance?
To be honest. I've got an idea actually. For an example, we bring AI, like for an example, in your phone, in everywhere, we have AI everywhere, but you don't have to know AI.
Yeah.
But we make NFT at a standard, like for your picture, for everything at a standard. So people don't have to know what NFT is, but it has to be standardized.
Yeah.
And it's build the basics of technology for the next generation of the technology. People don't have to know what's NFT, but the NFT support their life easier and make fair for their life.
Yeah, just like the internet.
Like the internet, so you don't have to know what internet is about. You don't have to know programming.
How it works, like
yes, how it works,
yeah.
but you are the user.
Yeah, but we use it every day. We cannot live without it now.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe it would be the future of NFT, AI, application of AI and blockchains. So blockchain will back as a so industry 4.0, right? They have AI, they have machine learning, and IoT, and blockchains. But everything now they go into life. But blockchain still a lot of space for people. They go into that field and discover. So that's reason why you see lots of people that invest into blockchains. Is it not like an investment game, but is it like a real technology investment? And people they invest lots of money for that, and you can see lots of projects like Binance. They go around to introduce blockchain to the world.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And I just want to hear your last idea.
Yeah, I agree with you that sometimes maybe we don't need to understand the whole techniques behind that, just the use case of that. But if you need to explain NFT to a 10-year-old boy, what would you say? I want to hear your opinion, just in one sentence. Okay, so because we all know about NFTs and stuff, right? But like to explain NFT to a boy, 10-year-old boy, what would you say? Just for one sentence.
Really like your questions. Actually, I work in French sometimes, and it's a French approach. You talk very complicated things for a boy, 5 years old, 10 years old, and understand. It's a kind of digital asset, and NFT is digital asset, and you own an asset like you own a toy. And nobody can take it from you. So, I mean...
It can be anything, right? It can be you, it can be me, it can be your song, it can be my picture,
and it's unique.
Anything.
Yes.
But it has to be unique.
Unique.
Right?
Yes.
But do you agree that right now, at the moment, there's so many projects, they exploiting it and make so many NFT, kind of manufacturing the NFT?
Actually, that there are two types of NFT. Yeah, so there were 721 NFT and 1155 NFT. So 1155 NFT are those that is similar, but they have many can be made up copies. So we also need to distinguish between those type of copies. So I don't think that they are
actually
exploiting.
That's what we are working about. So you can copy a picture, you can mint another NFT. It's very easy to see and cheat the user and to standardize them to. So for an example, Ian Scofield has a project. So you are an investor, right? And normally the token is generated by the projects. and we have a project to be a third party to bring the fairness to investor. The project itself, they don't publish the token or they don't publish an NFT. A third party should do it. And actually, when you check it, you can use, for example, our tech can detect, okay, that's the real NFT. And they can verify them. For example, you can verify your phone from Apple like 10 years ago. You don't know, is that a fake iPhone or the original one? And you have a code. You check that code on the internet, and is it the same with NFT and also with the token? When I and Scarfield in Dubai, a very big investor, they complained about like for token they have so many problems, and yeah, so standardize them is the way to do it.
Okay, so I think that our time has ran out. So I thank you all for having a very wonderful and constructive panel discussion today. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you everyone.
Hi everyone. And the financing is by NFT. Yeah, buy a lot.
All right, so that would be the wrap up for our panel discussions. For now, we'd like to invite you to have a quick coffee break outside, and we will come back here for the Global Blockchain Congress Awards, where we will be give the prize for the top 3 projects that have been in the meeting one-on-one meeting rooms. And of course, with the closing remarks afterward. So please have a quick coffee break, and we will be see you guys in a while.
Rồi em ơi, anh đang bận nữa, anh không có nhu cầu.
We have nearly come to the end of our Global Blockchain Congress. And before we are closing up our meetings, our Congress, I would like, yes, okay. I would like to welcome you to have the Global Blockchain Congress Awards, where we'll be awarding the top 3 projects that have been in the one-on-one meeting rooms here with us. And all the investors have already been meeting up with them, already been voting for them. And now we'll be awarding these top 3 projects. For this event, I would like to welcome again Mr. Hadi to take you with this.
Thank you. All right. We're almost done, almost done. So we started doing the Global Blockchain Congress Award on the 8th edition of the event, and we find it to be a very popular exercise amongst attendees. It is by no means a scientific method of evaluating the project. It is a very ad hoc way to spur a little bit of competition and just add a little bit of fun to the event. So basically the way it works is that we've asked all the investors who have conducted meeting with the projects to rate each project from 0 to 10 based on their opinion whether this project will raise funds or not. And we accumulated all the results, and we have 3 winners. So to announce the winners, I would like to ask the following people to come on stage, starting with Mr. Hong, President of VDCA and former Deputy Minister of Information and Communication. I would like to ask Tony, also CEO of V2B Labs, to come on stage. I would like to ask Jenny, who's the CEO of TRIient, also to come on stage. And I would like to ask Yamin Khaddaj from Agora Group to come on stage.
Hi guys, thank you for joining us today. I start by announcing the 3 winners that had the top votes from the investors. Starting at the 3rd place, we have a TRIient engine. A round of applause. Is the TRIient engine team here? Right. In 2nd place, we have Backstage. And in the 1st place, we have Prasaga.
the stage for a group photos for all. Yeah. Thank you so much. Right. All right. So to close up our 2 days very successful Congress, I believe we would have Mr. Nguyễn Minh Hồng to close up our 2 days Congress. Please welcome Mr. Hồng. Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Vietnam Digital Communication Association and the organizing committees, including Agora Group, B2B Labs, TRIයෙන්, and Review, I would like to express my heartfelt anticipation toward individual and organization in the technology, especially in the blockchain fields, have participated and contribute to the success of the event. The Global Blockchain Congress has marked a crucial milestone in Vietnam technological growth, pushing investment opportunities, blockchain-related research and application, and linking potential Vietnamese firms with global ones. It is an honor for us to be able to co-host such a worldwide blockchain event that has advanced and development of the future of blockchain. I hereby announce that the Global Blockchain Congress has successfully come to the end. Thank you very much, and I wish you nice back home trip.
And also, of course, would like to invite Mr. Hadi Melab to the stage.
Taking this occasion, I would like to give Mr. Hadi a very, very small gift with VDCI sign.
Mr. Hadi.
Okay, well, thank you all for being part of the Global Blockchain Congress Southeast Asia edition. It was a pleasure to have you all with us. I want to thank our sponsors again. I want to congratulate all our winners. I want to thank all the delegates and all the speakers. I want to thank our partner, B2B Labs and TRIient for helping us host this event here. We believe it was a very successful event, and we look forward for many future events in Vietnam. Throughout the last 2 days, we have heard a lot on many important subjects concerning blockchain. On the first day of the event, we heard a lot of speakers from government and semi-government organizations that spoke about the vision of Vietnam, when it comes to blockchain and to digitization, and the plans to establish Vietnam as a global hub, not only a regional hub for blockchain. And we think that the Global Blockchain Congress can work very well in parallel to the government plans in order to help promote and help establish Vietnam as a global hub for blockchain. We want to continue shedding a spotlight on the potential of the Vietnamese startup ecosystem and the Vietnamese technology system. And we want to keep promoting Vietnam as a global hub for blockchain and for investment in digital assets. So again, thank you all for being a part of this important event for us. One last thing that I want to announce, which is the results of the block by block competition. We have 3 winners, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names. The first winner is Hiep Pham from Vinh University. He or she have won $500 in stable coins. And then Annie Lee from BSS Group, who is the second winner. And Quinn Tran from Vinh University again, who is the third winner. If you are here, please come talk to our team so we can arrange for this to happen. If you're not here, we will reach out to you by emails to give you your prizes. And the last thing is, I don't want you guys to forget that we're hosting a gala dinner here at the same place at 8 p.m. The gala dinner is hosted by FOTA and is sponsored by them. So thank you all and hope to see you soon. And thank you all for being with us for the last 2 days. Thank you.
So right, that's a wrap up. Thank you, everyone. Please remember we do have the 8